Welcome to the season finale of Moc Advice with Callan and Ben. In this week's episode, we are doing a viewer special since we are taking a break for this season. Just a little note with that, I'm sure some of you are going to get confused with this. We are not stopping Moc Advice, it's just a break. We will be coming back with a season 2 and many more seasons to follow. Speaking of which, how long that break is going to be, roughly a month, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depends on whether or not our workload for school gets too big. The time we're definitely going to be coming back, though, is probably 1 or 2 weeks before the summer holidays in America start. Yep, we shouldn't be too long, so no need to worry there. Anyway, I do have a few more announcements, but I'll announce those at the end so I can make you watch the whole episode. I'm so evil. Anyway, on to Callan with the mocks we'll be reviewing today. Speaking of which, we will be reviewing an extra one just for fun and just to say thank you for watching.
Alright, so today's mocks are Base Toa of Sonics by Toa Akai, Toa Striker by Striker, Ventum the Half Demon by Ventum the Half Demon, and Famine by Johan Dakic. Alright, so I am going to start off with Base. Alright, so here we have Base, and I have to say, he looks pretty darn nice. One of Kai's bulkier mocks, and he pulled it off really nicely. I think one of the best parts has got to be how he made the wrist design simple, yet it looks really good, and the hand design connects very well. Basically, it's just a red ball joint with the fingers connected through the hole in the middle, and the bottom finger holds the connection that has the thumb. So yeah, overall, it's a brilliant wrist design, and one of my highlights of the mock. But my only real problem with this mock is some of the color scheme. There's a little bit of light gray on there, and the dark gray on his fingers is sort of matched on his thighs, but there's not that much, so I think he should probably get rid of the light gray entirely and maybe spread out the dark gray, because it's hard when you have to have the gray fingers as a part of the color scheme. Overall, this mock is really well done, and I congratulate Akai. Ben, what do you think about it?
He's probably one of my favourite mocks from L. I really like him. My favourite part about this mock is those pop-up dishes. Just the fact that they can pop up and just how well it works with his Sonic sound theme is brilliant. I really like that. Another thing that I also really like is that torso design. It's a really nice use of those Hero Factory pieces on his shoulders. That looks great. Just overall, this mock is brilliant. I don't really have very much critique with it, other than the stuff that Caleb has said. The only thing I do have, though, is his Autotech Blaster, as it's called. It's really blocky, and I don't like just all of the back. I think if he made that look a lot more slim and less blocky, it would look really good. Because, I mean, in some of the other pictures where you can't see the back, it looks brilliant, and it's a great use of Drill Dozer's torso piece. I just think, keep that, and redo everything else, and it'll look brilliant. Overall, an amazing mock from L.
Alright, so now we're moving on to our second mock, Striker by Toa Striker himself. He's got an overall nice build. One of my favorite parts has to be the upper leg design, how he uses those orange Thornax launcher pieces as armor. It looks actually pretty nice. Something that kind of bothers me, though, is although the lower arm design has a really nice technique, its side view, it's very thin, and I'm not exactly sure how, but I think if he buffed it up about a brick, that would really help with how it looks. But other than that, he's overall a very nice self-mock, great color scheme. Great job.
He's a really nice overall build. I really like him. Some of my favourite parts would probably be his shoulder design. I really like how that looks. I also like the back design. I really like it when people use the rotor mask back there. The other thing I really like is his weapons. It's a pretty nice overall design, and the Kapaka blades always look good with weapons. However, that being said, something I don't like is the fact that they're two different colours. I think that you should either have both be black or both be Keat orange. But still, those weapons do look really good, as do all his other weapons. But other than that, a really cool mock, and I really like it. Great work.
Alright, so now on to our third mock, Ventum the Half Demon by Ventum the Dark Demon. And he's overall really nice. He's got a pretty good color scheme. One thing I would change is that there's lots of silver, and with a black and teal mock, I probably wouldn't do that. It's just another thing I might change is that there's some dark gray on his lower arms, and that it just doesn't go with the rest of that color scheme. It's kind of out there. But other than those critiques, this guy is really well done. I think my favorite part has to be the upper arms. They have a really nice look. Teal always seems to complement a color scheme, so overall this is really well done. Ben, what do you have to say?
I really like this mock, a great color scheme. I do agree with what Callan said about the silver, but overall, very cool. I really like the torso design. He's covered up the Hordiki chest rather well with some really nice scribbles, and that looks great. Another thing I really like is that foot design. The thing I really like as well is the waist design. There's a lot of good waist designs out there. This is another one of those. Pretty good. Critique-wise, I think he could use a lot more teal. He doesn't have that much. He could use a lot more. I mean, even if he just had some trans blue studs all over the place, that would still aid it a lot more. A little more teal, and this mock would be brilliant. The other thing that I don't like, some of the poses he's in look really awkward, and I'm not sure whether or not that's just how he's posed him, or whether or not that's the actual build, but I think maybe he needs to work on the posability a little bit. But other than that, a very cool mock. Really like it.
Alright, so now on to our final mock. We're ending this mock advice with a bang, because your jaw will be dropping just like the chest of this mock. Here is Johan Dakitz's Famine. Overall, he's really excellent. The back is well armored, which is not something you always see, and it's great. The head looks very nice. Nice use of the fingers and the claws. It just looks very toothy. And the chest mouth. Oh, as I've said, I made a terrible joke about that before. This was really well built. Kind of reminds me of Finrak, but body. Overall, it's just really nice build. Really well done. Only thing that I think would be better is that I see the fingers on the head are gunmetal, and I think if he spread the gunmetal out, it would look better, or if he just changed the gunmetal fingers to black. Overall, though, this is really well done. Excellent job, Johan.
I totally agree. This is a brilliant mock. I really like how he's built the chest around the mouth. It's not just tacked on there. It fits it extremely well, and it looks brilliant. Like Caleb said, I really like that head design. It overall looks very cool and fits the mock very well. The other thing that is probably one of my favorite parts of this mock is that foot design. It looks brilliant. I love how he's got the posable claws, and just the overall look of it looks brilliant. Final thing I like about him is that staff. It looks brilliant how he's done it. Alright, so onto the critique now. The pincer hand design that he's got there, it looks really cool, but I don't really like how gappy it is in a few places. I think if he filled in some of those gaps, it would be perfect. The other thing I don't really like is that the thighs seem a little skinny. I think he could possibly buff those out a tiny bit, although that's not too much of a problem. Overall, a brilliant mock, and a brilliant mock to finish the season with. Alright, that concludes the first season of Moc Advice. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoy making it for you. Onto those announcements that I have. What I would like all of you to do is, in your comments below, tell us some ideas you have for next season. Whether it be we want you to, change the style of reviewing, change your location, blah blah blah. We'd love to hear those ideas, and we'll totally take some of them on hand. So please suggest some stuff below. Next episode of Moc Advice, I'm sure you're all wondering how we're going to do the whole requesting thing. We haven't exactly thought of a category for the first episode of Season 2, but what we're going to do is, within a week before we post the first episode of Season 2, we'll probably post a video saying what that will be and what the category will be, with a few other announcements in that. So stay tuned for that. Put that in your comments below as well, what you want that to be. Final thing, things we'll be adding to Moc Advice that we're definitely going to do is, by the time that's posted, my revamp of Cossy will finally be done, so we won't be having Caleb be taking the pictures of Callan and Cossy for reviewing. Plus, we'll definitely have a lot more guest hosts, and we'll try and make it as good as possible, a lot more bloopers for you. Speaking of bloopers, let's get right onto those, but before we do, hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, and I hope you have a great time viewing Season 2. I'm Ben Cossy.
And I'm Callan LOF.
Signing off for the final time for a little bit. See you guys.
Bloopers!
I think you could possibly buff those out a tiny bit, although that's not too much of a problem. The other thing I don't like is... What was it? There's a third thing.
Your con doesn't say that, though.
I swear I had a third thing.
No, you don't.
Alright. Interesting.